You're listening to an extracurricular episode of Book Club Shmook Club, where in between book reviews, I, Kristen Rogers Anderson, and my brother, Will Rogers, go off book and talk about whatever is on our minds. We only keep one bonus episode in the free public feed at a time. So in 2 weeks, when the next extracurricular episode comes out, this particular episode will disappear. However, if you go to patreon.com/talkbomb and set up a monthly donation, you'll have full access to every bonus show we've ever released, past, present, and future. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram under the usernames @ChillinKristen and @HauntedSponge. Book Club Shmook Club is available on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Hello, welcome to Book Club Shmook Club. I'm Kristen.
I'm William.
William, real quick, can you put my headphones up just a little bit? It's weird to me.
You sound like a rapper. Where they're like, turn my headphones up.
It's just weird to me. Okay, that's better.
Turn them up.
I know that you said that, we can like see it on the monitor.
Yeah.
But it's weird to me that I couldn't hear myself in them at all.
Turn
I
these
usually can.
headphones up.
Hey, crank up. Turn them up.
All right, can you hear yourself now?
Mom, spaghetti. Yeah.
All right, good.
So this is an off-book extracurricular episode.
But not off-brand.
From the kids.
You know where you are.
Yep.
Do you know where your kids are?
What could be more on brand? Did you watch that thing that I sent you of The Bachelor? We may have talked about it on the show, so I won't go on too much about the guy who got eliminated, and then he was really mad because he thought it was like another guy's fault, the Waboom guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're all like fart joke." It was so weird.
It's like it's impossible to describe. It was
really
two
is.
idiots
it's
fighting on the
really
show.
worth Googling.
And then they're trying to fight with each other, and one of the guys is a comedian.
I guess so, of sorts. I know he said Waboom all the time. I haven't been watching this season.
Which is not something that a modern day comedian should be doing. And it sounds like a real rainbow suspenders.
Totally. I don't know the context, but I'm going to guess it's not funny.
Catchphrase comedy garbage. And so the other guy's like trying to take him down a peg because the comedian guy's been being a jerk. And then the guy who's trying to take the comedian down a peg, you'd be like, I guess I'm supposed to side with him.
Oh, God.
He's going like, and look at you. This is you. Waboom. Like, starts making fart sounds.
I could not
And you're
believe...
like, I can't side with either of these idiots.
I can't believe that was on The Bachelorette. Like, not that that's like the classiest television, but you don't usually see that kind of thing on it.
You don't usually hear fart noises on TV all that much.
And also he did this motion with his hand behind his butt like he was grabbing a fart when he did the fart noise.
Right, yeah.
It was so weird.
Needless to say, you don't really need to grab a fart.
No, it was really funny though. Boy, there's a lot of Bachelor controversy.
Anti-comedy. Tonight at 10 p.m., the first episode of The Gong Show is going to air.
Oh.
With
Tommy Maitland.
Yeah, with
Maitland
what's
something?
his real name? Mike Myers doing his
Does he even really need a real
comedy
name at this
atrocity,
point?
Tommy Maitland.
He disappears into his characters.
Yeah,
his real name is obsolete. His name is the Love Guru. His name is Tommy Maitland. His name is Austin Powers.
He is
His
everything.
name is Wayne.
And he is now nothing.
Wait a second. Wait.
Campbell.
Thank you.
Wayne Campbell.
Okay.
I read a review from Variety that they were like, The Gong Show, like everything is fine. And then Tommy Maitland is there.
Yeah, I'm sure that you can enjoy it when the people are coming out, and then you're like, oh God, that's right. There's this weird conceit running through this. This is not good.
That Mike Myers is playing an old British man.
Yeah.
And they're like, I understand. The reviewers, I really liked it. They were like, I understand why Mike Myers would want to have something to really dig into and try to create a new character. I understand why he would like that.
Yeah.
I understand why ABC would say to Mike Myers, as long as you'll host the show, we'll let you do whatever you want. Because then you have Mike Myers hosting it. But the result is that you have this horrible character, and they're like, I don't think that they got any laughs out of Tommy Maitland. They're like, I don't think he added a single thing to the show. Like, there was no benefit to having him around. It was just another thing that would be happening between acts.
God.
And meanwhile, I've seen clips of Mike Myers yucking it up and hamming it up and being like, who's a cheeky monkey? And
as Tommy Maitland.
Yeah. And then the audience going, you are Tommy Maitland.
Really?
Yeah, but they're told to, so.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like they're really writing that way.
No, I wouldn't think. Are you going to watch it?
Oh yeah. If I'm awake in 2 hours, I'll be watching it. Yeah.
God, no,
miserable. It'll be torturing.
Yeah, why are you going to do that to yourself? You're already tired.
Oh, because I'm more grumpy than tired, and it'll give me something to hate. I realize that sounds insane.
The whole internet is out there.
Yeah, I know, but I can't hate anything online any more than I hate this Tommy Maitland thing.
Yeah, that's true. If you're looking for a target for your ire, there's a perfect one being served up to you on a gong.
Well, it's just like why do we try doing anything when it's like people will just they'll just give hundreds of thousands of dollars to Mike Myers to just be like, hey, do a worse Austin Powers, do a bargain basement garbage character that it seems like they gave him like a weekend to come up
anything is worse than Austin Powers because Austin Powers is the best.
He is the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Tommy Maitland aside from the Mike Myers of it all.
Yeah.
So I told you guys in the last extracurricular episode about my finding baby body parts.
Yes.
By my dumpster.
That's right.
And there's more to the story of the terrors I've experienced living in my apartment that I didn't want to tell you guys because, frankly, I hadn't told my mommy yet. And I didn't want her to find out listening to the show.
Which is fair. I feel like it is like you have experienced certain phenomenon at your apartment that is not very...
It would make mom worry.
Comforting for a parent to hear about, but you are now moving.
Exactly. That's the thing. I'm on my way out.
Yep.
It came up organically in conversation with our mommy because we were...
saying mommy.
Because we were talking about... She had checked out my apartment building like years before Ryan and I moved in there when she and our dad were moving.
Yeah.
And she met my, not landlord, like apartment manager or something. And she was talking about how she's kind of unpleasant. I was like, yeah, totally. And I was starting to say like, she was so unhelpful when blah, blah, blah. And I kind of caught I didn't even get that far at all. I was thinking I was about to say it and I was like, no, I can't tell her that. And I was like, you know what? I'm moving.
Yeah.
I can tell her this
I'm
now.
33 years old.
But it's scary kind of. So I didn't want her to.
Again, I side with you. But
I didn't want her to worry.
Yeah. I know.
Okay. So here are two things that happened. I'm going to tell you in chronological order from oldest coming up to the newer one, basically, because they somewhat fold into the next. Not too much, but a little bit. In a very important way, a little bit.
Okay.
So. Actually, it was almost this time last year because I pulled up the email that my property manager sent me back about it where she was just kind of like, sorry about that. I was like, it happened July 29th. The anniversary of this is almost coming up.
That's weird.
Yeah. So, I was cleaning up one night before I went to bed and I was picking up Crumbs' toys, like I'm an actual human person's mom, but I was cleaning up his toys and putting them in his little, like, not a hamper.
Like toy area.
Whatever, He's got like a toy box. I don't know. So, and it's next to the sliding glass door that we have in the back of our apartment, which faces the woods that I've talked about a bunch of times, which I love, but I am thinking have been maybe a hindrance to my safety, perhaps. So, it was nighttime. I had the door, locked and everything, but I had the blinds open and I had the lights on in the apartment. So, cause I guess I had a false sense of security because it's just woods. Nobody's ever back there or whatever. So, and when you're at night, when it's dark outside and you have lights on inside, it basically turns any window into like a mirror as you see it. You're just like totally reflected in it. So I was walking toward that window because his toy box thing is next to it. And I'm picking up his toys and Crumbs is kind of jumping on me because he wants the toys. So there's a lot of movement and activity going on in the reflection. And, I was like, not really looking at it, but kind of just because I was facing that way. And then I was like, what's moving in a way that's like not right? Like, it's not me moving. There's something like, what am I looking at? Something looks weird. So I had to like kind of like refocus my eyes a little bit or something. And then I saw a man walking like diagonally away from my window. So it's hard to explain. When I saw him, at least, they weren't like right at my window. They weren't even on the weird like slab of concrete thing that you call a porch that we have that a lot of apartment buildings have. So maybe you guys can picture it. He was like, maybe 10 feet away or something, but definitely seemed like he'd been around my area, like walking away,
close,
not just left to right. Like he was kind of walking away.
Yeah.
And I just saw legs and shorts and I was like, oh God, what the hell? But because he was far enough away and because I didn't want to believe it, frankly, I was like, well, maybe it's a neighbor like doing something. I don't know, whatever. Cause there are obviously other neighbors who face the backwoods like that. I've before walked crumbs through their backyards, quote unquote, or something. I was like, maybe something like that. And also it sounds silly, but it was peak Pokemon Go time. And I was like, maybe he was chasing a Squirtle or whatever.
Yeah. So not a bad theory, actually. When that game first came out.
Oh, yeah. I was wandering around all over the place.
Yeah. There were people walking around in weird places for like months.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's creepy, but this is probably fine. So I closed the blinds and, finished doing what I was doing. I did the dishes, I did the laundry, locked everything up, and then I went in bed to read before sleep took me. So then just a couple minutes later, I heard a noise from the living room and what sounded like, and I do think was somebody trying the back door. But same deal. I was in denial. But it freaked me out. It's so dumb, but it freaked me out that Crumbs and Chloe, my dog and cat, were both like, huh. Like they looked to the side and I was like, oh God. But I was like, well, I have the laundry going right now. I have the dishwasher going. Like there's a lot of noise happening from there anyway. It's probably fine. But even so, I texted Ryan and I was like, hey, this all happened. When you're done at work tonight, don't stop to get dinner or a drink or anything. Just come right home because I'm feeling freaked out.
Yeah.
And then just a couple minutes after that, and so it was like 11 o'clock now or a little bit after, the doorbell rang. So I was like, nope, this is not good.
This dude was walking around in the backyard, then he tried the back door, and now he walked around to the front of the apartment and he's trying to get in.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, if you want to rob someone, you don't want them to be home.
Right.
Like he saw that I was home and was trying to get in. So then Crumbs went apeshit. I was completely freaked out. So I walked to the front door I'm with because he followed me.
11 o'clock is far too late for visitors.
Yeah, I'm just opening the door to tell you that.
Yeah.
No, I walked because we have an outer door and then a little vestibule thing and then our inner apartment door or whatever. So I looked in the peephole because I wanted to see if they were inside like the vestibule and nobody was there. And it's like Crumbs like bark his head off.
Yeah.
And then I called Ryan again or I called Ryan. I didn't call him the first time. And, he picked up. And he was like, hey, hon, I'm really busy. Let me call you back. And I was like, did you not see my text before? And he was like, no, what? And I was like, well, I said everything. And then I was like, why am I talking to you right now? I'm going to call the police. And he was like, okay, I'm going to leave. But I called the police.
Yeah.
And, they came, they were nice, but they looked around and everything.
Yeah.
And they were like, we don't see anything.
Right.
And then they were like, so what, can you tell anything? I was like, well, I just saw like black and white shorts and legs. And they were like, was he white, black, whatever? And I was like, he seemed like he was white. And, he was like, this is weird to me. I mean, whatever. There's a police process. They're like, do you have any neighbors who would fit that description? So a white guy?
Yeah. A white guy with shorts and legs.
And I was like, I mean, my next door neighbor.
I should check to see if Thomas owns shorts.
Yeah. Like, I was like,
Thomas, do you prefer long pants? Short pants.
He says he prefers long pants, ma'am. It can't be him. But yeah, they were like, so I was like, I mean, my next door neighbor, I guess. And they were like, is he home? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like this really nice guy who I barely ever see. I mean, I'm not worried about him at all.
Yeah.
And so they're like, all right, we're going to talk to him. And I got so weird because I was so, first of all, freaked out and feeling awkward and uncomfortable. And our doors are like, I don't know, like less than a foot apart from each other, basically, like the way our apartments are laid out. And I was like, well, what do I do? Do I stand here? Do I go to my apartment? And there was two cops and they were both like, they looked at each other and they're like, you can go in your apartment. I was like, okay. So they knocked on the door before I was like even close to my apartment. And I did this weird like skipping thing to my apartment. I was like, oh boy, here we go. Gotta get out of here. And, so my neighbor opened the door like as I was closing my door. It was just so weird and dumb. I may as well just stayed out there because I wonder who called. And,
well, no, maybe they checked your house first. Like they could have been talking to you and then you closed the door and then they're talking to him.
I suppose.
Yeah. If you're going to be paranoid, like you could, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be for that. Like, there could be another explanation for that.
True, but it was just weird.
Yeah.
So then I waited until I heard them close his door. And then I came back out and I was like, so, and they're like, no, we don't think it's him or something. I was like, yeah, neither do I.
Yeah.
But,
solid detective work.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Yeah.
And, they were just like, well, you did the right thing by calling or whatever. If anything else happens again, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. So then, they closed the door and it was just so funny. It was a lot of doors opening and closing, like some sort of weird British sketch or something.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking British? Whatever.
I don't know. I was thinking like Scooby-Doo.
Kind of. Yeah. So then as soon as they closed the door to the outside, then Mike, my neighbor, opened his door and he was like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. But I'm like freaked out. And I told him what happened. And he was like, well, you're not crazy. Like, I saw someone out there. Like, I thought it was you.
Oh.
Cause I wasn't paying attention, but like, I was just like in my house and I noticed somebody like, kind of come around the corner he lives on the corner, like come around the side. And I wasn't like paying attention, but I just figured it was like you taking the dog out or something like that.
Weird.
And I was like, oh God. And he was like, so you're not nuts. And, I was like, great. So, I was just totally creeped out and everything. I went to little info for you guys. Obviously it changes by region and stuff, but, at Target, they have a lot of safety stuff. So I got all these alarms for all of the windows. We have sliding windows in our apartment, and they have these things at Target where they're like weak magnets if they're together, and obviously with the batteries and everything. But when it's set to alarm, if you slide the window, the alarm goes off. Like if the magnets separate. So I put that on all of the sliding windows, and I just made a funny face at Allie. She's being really cute. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, sparkling. Please. White Pesh.
No, wait. Pop that on Mike. Let's hear that fresh crackle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Crack this thing.
Thanks, Allie.
Yeah. Pop that
All
up.
right. Here we go.
Pop the top.
Pop. This is actually one of my favorite sounds. I love the sound of pop top and then fizzy. All right. Let's see how it goes. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Hold it. Yeah.
Oh, that's fresh.
Oh, that's good.
That's a fresh one.
Thank you.
That is a fresh one. Thank you, honey.
This is nice.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I feel so hydrated.
Yeah.
Or I will when I take a sip.
Yeah.
So you can get all that stuff at Target. I got like mace, and I got this thing where it's an alarm where if you pull the pin out, then it goes off. And so there's stuff like all over the apartment. But I was freaked out for a while. I was very nervous the next day to be by myself at home.
Yeah.
So that was one thing.
Yeah, I don't like that. That would creep me the fuck out.
I was really genuinely freaked out and scared.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it sounds like an 80s like horror movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like the figure in the window, and then all of a sudden your doorbell starts ringing. Like that does sound like Michael Myers.
Even talking about it now,
I'm not talking about Tommy Maitland.
No, even though that is scary.
Yeah.
Thinking about it now, I can't believe that happened. It was really scary.
Yeah,
The whole thing. There was a guy, and then it sounds like he tried the door, and then he decided to ring the doorbell. Ugh. Like, what would he? I wonder if he would. There's no way to know. Like, would he have said something? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Anyway, maybe there's some explanation that was normal.
I don't know.
I know.
I had something like that the other day where I was like, this is really weird. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. More plausible explanation. And now I'm going with it. I was walking Molly. We were walking down the road.
Yeah.
And then a car.
As you do.
A car pulled over. And whatever. I was walking away from it. My back was to it. And Molly and I were walking down the street. We turned around and started walking back.
Yeah.
And the driver of the car was standing outside the car facing us. And then the passenger of the car got out and stood with the driver and was facing us. And then Molly barked at them twice. And then they got back in their car and they drove away.
What do you think? That sounds like a mind trap puzzle.
Yeah, it does. It does sound like what happened and why.
Yeah.
Listen to the end of the cassette for the solution.
Yeah. Something that we used to listen to in the car with our parents. That was like a puzzles cassette. Yeah.
I immediately was like, all right, well they were gonna rob me. And then they thought, well, like maybe a bad idea
too
with
much
the
trouble.
dog. Yeah, exactly. So what
do you
away.
think the plausible thing is?
Plausible thing, I think, is they maybe got out to check something with the car.
Oh.
And then got back in and drove
Yeah.
away. But it was very, like, they pulled up.
Like, did you see them the whole time?
No.
Okay, so maybe they did.
They pulled up, like, right alongside me, and I just kept walking because whatever.
Yeah.
But then they were, like, by the time that I turned around, they were still, and it was dark.
Yeah.
So they appeared to be facing in my direction, but I couldn't tell, like, what they were doing.
Ugh.
Like, they may have been, like, facing, like, 3/4 of the way toward me, but mostly they were looking at the car. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I could not see much about them. I couldn't, like, really discern what they looked like or what they were doing.
Yeah.
And then, they got back in the car and they just drove away. They drove away in the opposite direction. I'll say that too. It was very weird. It is
really weird.
It felt very conspicuous at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds odd.
It felt odd. It felt very odd. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, either one could be true.
Yeah, sure. Who's to say?
It's a wild world. Yeah. Well, that perfectly segues into the second scary thing that happened in my apartment building.
Numero dos.
It involves cars. So I was walking the dog, which is when all scary things happen.
Right.
Or I discover scary things.
Apparently.
And I wanted to get like my car charger or something. So I opened my car and there was some stuff on my driver's seat, like that had been in my side compartment thing. And it was like early morning. I wasn't even thinking or anything. And I grabbed whatever like my watch charger or something, because I keep that in the car because I drive so often. So whatever. And so I grabbed that. And I was like, that was weird. And I went back inside and I woke up Ryan. This is how my two latest stories start.
That's funny.
And I was like, were you looking for something in my car last night when you came home? And he was like, what? No, leave me or whatever. And like, as soon as I asked him, I was like, why? He wouldn't like leave shit out in my car like that. You know what I mean? I was oh God, I think somebody broke into my car.
Yeah.
So then I went back to my car, and taking a better look now, I realized that my seat was scooched all the way back, which for some reason is the detail that creeps me out the most, because that means somebody was sitting in my car.
Yeah,
and they're like, well, this is a little cramped.
I need more room.
Yeah. So
that's a real Goldilocks of a thief.
It creeps me out. And yeah, so like the stuff from like my side door things, which was not a lot of things, which was actually, I realized Allie gave me, she had gotten like some sort of beauty box or something, and it had sheet masks.
Yeah.
Made of weird stuff she was creeped out by. One of them was placenta.
Oh, weird.
And the other one is something else.
Wow.
And I'd forgotten about them. I just put them in my side door thing. And so that was what was on my seat.
Weird.
And
it's like a theme.
Yeah. And they had gone in my glove box and just like taken everything out. And it was like all over the floor of like the passenger side thing. And I had a wallet, but not like real. It was a wallet that had like store cards in it, so I didn't have to have like a fat wallet like a Stanza all the time. So if I'm going to CVS, I would take out the CVS one and put it back in, and also had pennies in it. But they didn't want the pennies apparently, so they dumped that on the floor. And I had a bag of clothes I was going to like donate to Goodwill or sell to Plato's Closet or something, and those were like all over the place in the back seat, and it was super creepy and also illegal. So I called the cops, and they came. And they were like, was your car locked? And I was like, I don't think it was. Because I had this really, and I don't anymore, this really bad habit of leaving the back seat door open from where I let crumbs in and out. Because I don't have one of those like button things where you just like lock and unlock your car. I have to like...
Oh!
Yeah, I have
that
to...
explains a lot.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I have to like go in and like, you know, lock it or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because that always stuck out to me as like the weird thing. I'm just like, why don't you lock your car? Like you still always should.
Yes. Well,
but there was another
now.
like layer of like inconvenience to it where it's like, you can't just hit a button and lock it.
No.
That explains a lot.
Oh, yes, I would think so. Yeah. Because that'd be so weird and lazy. Like, why don't I just lock the car?
That's what everybody who I've told these stories to has said to me.
Oh, God damn it. Well, I hope that this is a record, and I hope all of them are listening right now.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't have one of those things. Pardon the interruption. To run our show, which gets costly between hosting fees and buying the books we review, Book Club Shmook Club needs help from our listeners. You can donate to the show by going to patreon.com/talkbomb, where you'll be able to choose a monthly donation that you feel comfortable with. As a thank you from us, you'll instantly get access to all of our bonus Between Book shows, which don't stay in our main feed. Every time a new one comes out, we bump the last one on over to Patreon. There are dozens and dozens of secret shows that you haven't had access to if you're not a donor. Doesn't that inflame your FOMO? That's fear of missing out. It's an acronym. You'll also have access to each new bonus show as it comes out, and early access to all of our book reviews. We load them onto Patreon as soon as we record them, so our donors get all of our episodes days earlier than they show up on the public feeds. Again, going to patreon.com/talkbomb and setting up a donation makes that happen, and we thank you so much for it. If you would prefer to individually purchase our bonus episodes, you can find them in our shop at talkbomb.com, where we also have stickers and bookmarks for sale. We would also really appreciate your support by leaving us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Positive reviews help other people find our show by making podcast apps more likely to list us. It also helps validate us to people cruising around looking for something to check out. So leaving us a review is like paying it forward twofold, since it helps us and it turns someone else onto something you enjoy. And we do hope you enjoy the show, so let's get back to it. Yeah, okay, so I called the cops. They were like, did you lock the car? I was like, I don't think so. And apparently somebody had gone in my neighborhood and just like tried doors and done this to a whole bunch of cars. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, this other guy is insisting that he locked it. Like, he is insisting that it was broken into. But all the other people we've spoken to, like, have admitted that it was probably unlocked. And I was like, I don't know. Sucks for that guy.
You can pop a lock, right? Does that still work?
Yeah, you can jimmy a lock.
Yeah, can you still jimmy it?
I guess so. I don't know.
Like, can you still use a clothes hanger to pop a lock? I remember that was a big deal in the early 90s.
I have no idea. Maybe you can. Or maybe you can't. Maybe, because if it was such a big deal, I would hope that there was some workaround that car developers, inventors,
Unless it's one of those things
worked.
that they're like, no, we're going to leave that in place because most people knew about that because they would lock their own keys in the car. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, there still has to be a way to break in.
I'm sure there is. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so they were like, the cop was like, yeah, you know, even though this is a safe town, everybody thinks Highland Park is so cute and so safe. You know, you still have to be careful. All right. You have to lock your car. They actually weren't being too condescending and like pooing me about it or being like, you should have. But they were like, you know, they're talking in more a general sense. They're like, you know, all these people like whose cars got broken into, it's a safe town, but you know, not really. There's crime everywhere. And I was like, well, yeah, unfortunately I know that because I had to call you guys like a few months ago because there was a guy at my back window and the cop was like, oh, he was like, yeah. Oh, you live in one of these buildings here that faces the woods? And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you got a sliding glass door? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah. No, we know about that. He was like, yeah, there was a woman a couple of years ago. She's working on the computer in her room. And he's like so coppy about it. He's like, yeah, she's working on the computer, whatever. She got the sliding glass door. Sure. So she turns around. There's a man pleasuring himself at the window. She screams. She calls us. Yeah. And I was like, in this development, like this neighbor, because you're kind of gesturing around and there's like another development like right next to ours. It may as well be the same thing. It's really just the name's different.
Yeah.
And
it's also like a 2-second walk. It's not
totally.
like the guy's like, well, I don't commute to do this. Yeah.
Well, I was like, in this one here, like we're right now. He's like, yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
Jesus.
No. So like, not that hadn't occurred to me and not that it's proof positive, but the copper certainly seemed to think there was something to it.
God.
Yep.
What a nightmare.
And there was nothing sexier than me picking up Crumbs' disgusting slobbered on toys and Crumbs like, jumping on me.
Like, there's something that's so pathetic about that notion where it's like,
well, it's like a really weird fetish.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, it's like fucked up and aggressive and no, but it's also like on some level, I feel like if I saw that, it would be so surreal that I would almost just be like, ew, you idiot, get out of here.
Well, the thing is about that is that you're not supposed to react to them at all because that's what they want. So that saying, ew, you idiot, they don't think that you're going to be like, oh.
No, I know that. I think that they think that I'm going to be like, ah!
Yeah. But any reaction, you're supposed to just like, I can't imagine being able to be in a right enough mind to do it.
No fucking way.
You're supposed to just like, act like you didn't see anything and look away. Like, as far as like the satisfaction of it, like not giving them the satisfaction, you don't want to react. But like, how could you
maybe
not?
Maybe this is controversial. I'm not worried about how much they're enjoying it. I just want them gone. So I'm not in it to be like, well, I don't want him to be, I want him, he's no longer pleasuring himself if there's no pleasure in it. Like,
but you don't want to encourage the behavior and have him be like, oh, that was so good, I'm going to do it again. You know what I mean? That's the perspective I think about it from.
I guess.
Like, he gets what he wants.
I would
then,
just go straight to like get him out of here.
I personally, for myself, number one, there's no way unless I have some deep reserves within me that I'm not aware of that I would be able to pull that off.
No way.
But it is discouraging if you're not getting what you want when you go out.
Just glancing at a window and then be like, whatever.
There's no way.
Another Tuesday night.
I think it's not totally impossible that if I was out in the city or something and that happened, that I might be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
Not in my home.
No.
Like if there was a guy on the subway or whatever, I think that I could pull it off and just walk away.
Yep.
No, at home. No. I don't know what I would have cried instantly.
Yeah.
And lost my mind if I had actually seen that
I just can't
on.
imagine it. I never liked living on the first story.
Well, I was thinking about it. So we're moving to a second story.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
I've never done that before.
I live on the first story here, but even still, like, we're raised off the ground a little bit. Like, you have to go upstairs to get into our apartment. So we're first story, but we're off the ground.
Yeah.
Makes a huge difference.
Oh, totally.
When we lived,
well, I guess that's the case at the place we lived in before we lived now. Now that I think about it, there were some stairs. So it's a little different.
Where'd you live? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on the street. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, like when Allie and I first moved in together, we lived on the first story, and it was like ground level to the windows, and like it would just make me paranoid. Like I would hear somebody walking their dog outside, but to me it just sounds like footsteps and like kicking around dry leaves, and I'd be like, oh, they're right next to my window, aren't they? Or something. Like it just makes you paranoid.
Yes, completely. So it's gonna be annoying to have to go on the stairs and everything to like move and bring groceries and everything. Yeah. But it's gonna be pretty nice to not have to worry about guys jerking their gherkins to me when I'm trying to pick up toys.
I'm just trying to bring in the gherkins that I got from Wegmans.
Plus, I saw an infomercial the other day for something called the Climb Cart that's to help you bring things upstairs. So I'm going to order it.
Our landlord is a 95-year-old woman on the second floor, and she has one of those stair lifters.
I know.
You sit in a chair, and it lifts you up the staircase.
Like Costanza.
You could look into that.
I think it's worth looking into.
Yeah. Can you imagine Crumb sitting on that?
Yeah.
Also, Crummy isn't great with steps. He's better now.
He's okay now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. We went to, which was so awesome. One of my clients at the salon invited Ryan and I by ourselves to stay at their beach house, like over the summer. And they had tons of stairs, and he was taking them like a champ. So he'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah. Also, quick ending note.
Yeah.
Perhaps you have some input, or perhaps our listeners do. So
real quick, what's salon pass?
Why did you think of that?
Someone said
it's like a pain relieving patch.
One of us said the word salon, and I.
Oh yeah, salon pass.
Salon pass is a horrible name.
I know. It's funny. I think about salon pass more than you would think.
Really?
Kind of. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of, maybe it's as dumb as the fact that I work at a salon.
Maybe.
But I've thought the same thing. It's a weird name. I wonder if there's like Jonathan Salon Pass created the company.
No.
Or maybe Salon Pass means something in another language. But it's one of those like mentholated patches.
Okay.
Or like a Bengay.
Yeah, I saw a commercial for something called Nerd Wallet the other day.
What's that?
Bad name. I think it's something to help you find a credit card. It's like not even getting a credit card. It's like a service that'll help you find the best whatever.
I guess they're working off of like a Geek Squad kind of model.
I guess. I don't know.
Interesting.
Bad name.
That's not a good name.
Dumb, stupid thing.
Well, I don't know. You remembered it. If that's the,
I also remember Tommy Maitland.
Isn't that the goal though? You want to be remembered?
I'm like, in Memento where he keeps being like, remember Sammy Jenkins, remember Sammy Jenkins.
I've actually never seen Memento.
Like, remember Tommy Maitland. Well, the thing about Tommy was he was a comedy character. It was just a completely misguided attempt at entertaining the globe. So I think about Tommy Maitland every time I try a new endeavor. Make me stop what I'm doing. Stop my tracks, reconsider what I'm doing.
I'm not going to watch that.
Get that tattooed on my body.
Just Tommy Maitland all over your body.
Yeah, every time I'm working on a new comedy character, I'll stand in front of the mirror and remember Tommy Maitland. See, the thing about Tommy was...
Okay, so with the stairs, there's a landing at the top of the stairs and then the door to our apartment. Right now, the people who live there, who is one of my friends from yoga, uses that as like you leave your shoes here kind of thing. Should I have a shoe-free apartment?
No one's actually going to stick to that.
Nah.
You bring me over to your apartment, I'm wearing my shoes. Let's put it that way.
But like, what else are you using that landing for? You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else you could do there except put like a plant, which is fine. But like, since it's there, should I take advantage and have a shoe-free lifestyle?
Do you really think you're going to stick to that?
I take off my shoes the second I come in my house.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't like wearing shoes. I take them off when I drive too.
Most days I'm wearing a full suit until like 2 a.m.
I know. I do not understand when like I come over and you're still fully dressed from work. I changed before I come home and I get into jammies basically.
You have your play clothes. That's what that is.
Yes.
I'm still an adult.
Although
I'm adulting 24/7.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Because of working at the office during the week and I'm by myself generally, I've actually been thinking about this is a whole other episode and it's really just belongs in my head. I don't need to talk about this with anybody else. It's boring.
Yeah.
I've been dressing very lazily and no makeup or anything.
So
and that's
what?
Yeah, but like I don't feel that good. You know what I mean? Like I look dumpy all the time. I was thinking I need to like punch it up a little bit.
I don't know. We have casual Fridays at work.
Yeah.
We didn't have them for the first 3.5 years that I worked there, and all of a sudden we have them.
Yeah.
And you opt in if you donate to like causes and stuff like that. And
we had those at my cosmetology school.
Yeah, I think
it's like Blue Jeans Day or something.
It's a great idea. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And I do donate. I donate to the ACLU.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could opt in.
Yeah.
It's just too much hassle.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Yeah.
Because I have to remember what day I dress different.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, every day is the same day.
Yeah, totally.
I just dress the same every day.
Yeah.
I can't be remembering casual Fridays. I don't know what day Friday is. I thought today was Friday for half of it.
Oh, that must have been disappointing.
Oh, it was very disappointing, Kristen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How do you think I felt?
Betrayed, bewildered. Probably.
All right. Did your car get broken into twice?
I didn't want to tell everybody that. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, this is the part that makes people, when I tell the story, go like,
you weren't supposed to tell people that part.
Who said that?
Me.
When?
I didn't tell everybody that part.
How am I supposed to know that?
I didn't tell Mom that part.
You didn't tell me not to tell people that part.
I'm sure I did.
Do you want me to cut this out?
No, it's fine.
Because you left your car unlocked.
This is real, okay? It's real life.
Yeah, it's true talk. You left your car unlocked even still after it got broken into the first time.
Like the day after. Or 2 days, I think. I think it was 2 days.
Yeah.
And I was gonna not call the police or anything because I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what, Kristen, that's ego stuff. They need to know so they can catch the culprit. And so do it. And I did.
This is the shit where it's just like, I feel like in Highland Park, they have a rule. If somebody with the last name Anderson, Rogers, or Palmer calls, they're like, guys.
Wait, why? What is Allie called about?
Arrest. Allie called because there's a car parked on the wrong side of the street the other day. She's like, I'm sick of this. They do this all the time. It is hard to get around them.
That is annoying. I don't blame her.
We have skinny roads. We live on a thin street.
Yep.
You're supposed to park on one side. There was a car parked on the other side. It happens all the goddamn time.
Annoying.
And she was like, all right, I'm done. Enough.
Yeah.
I almost called the cops because there was a lady with a puppy dog running
I told
around.
you, and I've said it on the show, I would have called them Toot Sweet. I know. I think I told you, or maybe I didn't because it would have linked into...
Is 911 one of the most like frequently dialed numbers on your phone? Only because we don't really call people. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, but no, it's not.
You don't frequently make phone calls these days, so...
No, I don't, and no, it's not.
Are you sure?
No. But when the cops came about the embryo thing, or the umbilical cord thing... the cop said to me, like, you need to move out of here. You're trouble. You keep calling us. like I was bringing trouble to the neighborhood. Yeah. He was being like cutesy. I didn't say that on the show because I hadn't said the other things yet. Man, I don't like what a tangled web I've woven.
Yeah, that development is...
No, I mean, keeping up my lies with what I told people
who knows
about.
What, yeah.
I wasn't sure whether I said it on the show or not because it would connect to me not telling you guys about the other things.
Incredibly manipulative.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm one of the most devious minds of our time.
You are.
What if these were all lies? What if I was one of the most devious minds of our time?
Then it would be boring.
What? That would be so nuts to me.
It'd be really weird, but it'd be like you lied about someone breaking into your car and like not necessarily really taking anything, and like it happened twice. Like, all right, like it'd just be like
but about all of it. What if it was all lies?
Everything you've ever said?
I just wanted attention. No, all the police things.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be messed up.
Yeah.
Then they would. I guess there are people who do that, right?
I know.
And they still have to deploy officers to go check it out.
Yeah, totally. Or if I was lying about all of it, I'd never called the police or anything. And maybe that's why that picture was so shitty that I took of the police line do not cross. Because it wasn't real.
No, it was real. I could tell. Yeah, I could tell.
I'm saying what if. Anyway.
No, I know. Okay. Can't even entertain it.
Okay.
You definitely called the police 3 times, at least. Did you ever tell the story about when you stole the dog on here?
I don't know if I should.
Maybe you shouldn't admit to that.
Maybe not. I don't know.
All right, let's tell a hypothetical story real quick. I'll tell it. Hypothetically, Kristen may have one time seen a dog outside and felt like maybe it was not being taken care of. So it's possible that if she saw that, she would have gone out and taken the dog and brought it back inside her house. And then maybe, because she was so concerned, she might have called the police about it, and they would have probably told her, ma'am, it sounds like you stole that dog. You should give it back. And when she was told that, she would probably give the dog back. That's pretty much a story that might have happened.
Perhaps.
Could have happened, I should say.
It may have.
Yeah.
The dog was untethered, maybe, running all over the neighborhood. And then when I went and tethered it back to its post in their backyard, it got out again.
Yeah.
And then when I maybe hypothetically tried their backsliding door to let the dog inside.
Oh my God. Wait a minute.
William,
You're trying opening doors.
To let the dog in. It kept running away.
Kristen.
I put it back on its hook. They had like a lead thing in the back and it got away from it. And I was like, this dog's gonna get hit by a car. And I rang the doorbell like 1,000,000 times, hypothetically, and nobody answered. So I didn't think everybody was home. So I tried the sliding glass door just in case it didn't open. And I was like, okay, go on, get in there. And the dog went in there. Then I was like, all right, well, I'm done for the night. Then hypothetically, I went back inside and then I heard barking outside and the dog was outside again. And then I was like, what psychopath is inside that just slid the door open again for the dog to go outside again?
I better sneak back outside and open their door again.
No, what are you talking about? I didn't have to...
No, I'm saying, like, what kind of psychopath would do this? Meanwhile, you're sneaking around in the dark, opening doors to houses that aren't yours.
To let their dog back in.
Hypothetically.
I would want somebody to do that if Crumbs got out. What's worse, the dog getting hit by a car or me sneaking their door open so that the dog can go back inside?
Didn't you say it was tethered to a hook?
Yeah, and it got away. Yes, and it got off of it.
All right. That part I agree with. However...
Yeah, so I was meant to just keep tethering this dog to this hook all night, and just it runs away. I put it back on the hook. It runs away. I put it back on the hook.
Did you ever go around to the front and try to ring the doorbell?
Yes, I just said that. I did it like a million times.
I was lost in my head because I was thinking about the cops telling you stole that dog. You have to give it back now, ma'am.
He was like, in a court of law, it would be ruled that you stole that dog. So I really recommend you need to put that dog back right away.
That's awesome.
And I was like, okay, well, can you guys do like a welfare check tomorrow? Because I don't know why somebody inside is just like opening the door and letting this dog out.
They want to.
You're just gonna let a dog run free?
Maybe they don't realize that the dog is running free and they're wrong for that. But like people have backyards and they let their dog run around.
It's not a well, yeah. But,
no, I know. But I'm saying they think it's as good as because the dog is like tethered to a spike or whatever.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what happened with it. I've seen the owners walking the dog since then, and the dog and Crummy sniff each other and stuff, and I'm always like, you don't know that I owned this dog for like half an hour.
Yeah. Does the person seem nice?
Yeah, he does seem nice. He's doing a weird thing, which is actually kind of awesome in his, like, the section of the woods that you could say is his backyard, like the woods directly behind. He's building or fashioning some sort of like he's like weaving something, like a giant fence of sticks and branches and stuff.
Maybe
it looks like a giant catcher's mitt. I know.
Yeah, it sounds like he's trying to catch you if you come back trying to steal his dog again.
Maybe. I was worried about the dog. And so then when I came to work and I was telling my friends about it and stuff, my friend Heather was like, let's say uncle, I'm not sure. My uncle had a dog that knew how to nose open the sliding glass door. Like I saw it happen. So I think that she's like, maybe that happened. And I was like, oh, that makes way more sense than a devious person inside just opening the door to let the dog run out again.
Yeah.
Because if there's a person inside and the dog ends up inside, all of a sudden they're like, Fido, how'd you get in here? Like
back outside with you.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
The whole thing was very confusing, and I was just worried about the dog.
Is that every single time you called the police from that apartment complex? Four times?
Yeah, I think so.
Not a single more?
I don't think so.
You ever make it to Cinco?
I mean, I've got another month, so.
Yeah. All right. Let's try to make it count.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's it.
It's a psychologically satisfying number.
It is. I know 4 is a little. Oh, there are 4 seasons.
Don't try to make it fit.
Yeah,
I want to fit.
I know. I do too.
Get those cops to come back out and be like, yeah, wait a minute. You do call us a lot.
Well, they didn't know who I was the 4th time. They took my name and number because I asked them to call me about the dog. Okay. Like I was like, this dog keeps running out and freaked out about it. I need animal control because they're not taking, somebody's letting this dog just run loose a bunch of times. And so they took my name and phone number. The cops didn't come out for that. I just spoke to the dispatch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one thing's for certain. At some point in the future, you're going to call the cops from the new apartment and they're going to be like,
hey.
What are you over here now? I know. You're the lady from the forest, right? What's going on over here?
That happened with the takeout guy when we moved. He was like, oh, you're here now. And I was like, yeah, we moved.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Small town.
Totally.
Cool.
All right, dudes. So.
Krissy and the Fuzz.
Yeah. You said it best. I have a detective's eye.
Do you?
Yeah. That's why I noticed all these things, such as a guy, such as my car getting broken into.
Twice.
Because I forgot to lock the door again.
Like detectives have that happen all the time, right? Like detectives commonly leave their doors unlocked. And then,
well, I have not since.
It appears Detective Perp has been rummaging about in my things.
Wait, real quick.
Well done, detective. Okay. How did you determine this?
You said I had a detective's eye. You said it. And when the cops came about the placenta and everything, they told me that they caught the guy breaking into the cars.
Oh, really?
Yes, because he used somebody's credit card, so they caught him.
Nice. Yep. All right, that's great.
Yep, so that's tied up.
Nice. Well, potentially. Yeah. Maybe it's one of them.
Maybe.
Somebody else could be doing that.
It's true.
You never know.
Ugh. God.
Beck. Yeah. Cool. All right, you guys. Next week, we are going to be reading Agatha Christie's The Murder of Roger Ackroyd.
Yep.
So if you're going to be reading along with us, get to reading. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, totally.
It's going to be a good time.
Absolutely.
And we have an announcement to make.
Yes.
FYI.
Boom, boom, boom.
Krissy and Willie going on a bit of a brief hiatus.
Yeah, hiatus.
We're not going to be recording any new episodes of Book Club Shmook Club for the month of July. Taking a month off.
Yep. Our last episode of June is on the 30th. Perfect. So it's a very perfect
Yes.
Clean little break.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we will go away at the end of The Murder of Roger Ackroyd until we return at the beginning of August.
Yep.
But we're going to be reposting some of the Book Club, Shmook Club favorites out on the feed just so that you guys can reacquaint yourself with some of the classic Shmook Club episodes that you forgot you loved so much.
Exactly.
But yeah, we're going to take some time off. Kristen's going to do some moving.
Yep.
We've been pretty much just like workhorses for a long time now. So we're just going to take a little bit of a breather, recharge our batteries, and come back with some heavy hitters. So be aware of that.
Yep.
All right, you guys, but we are going to take off for now. But if you had any thoughts about this episode, times that maybe you've called the police, especially times you've called the police.
I've never told those stories all in tandem like that. I really have called the police a good amount.
That's a decent amount. Quattro.
Yeah.
That's a satisfying number. If you don't get to Cinco, at least you'll always have Quattro.
We'll always have Quattro.
I would love any stories about calling the police and then them being like, why did you call us? Like, very clearly, they're like, what? All right, well, you got to give it back. So
the dog thing is the only time that happened. Every other time, something real happened.
Fair enough. But you can reach out to us and share those things with us on Instagram and Twitter.
I'm at Chillin' Kristen.
I am at Haunted Sponge. Go check out talkbomb.com for a full archive of every show that we have ever done in the past.
Yeah, boy.
Make sure you check out the Book Club Shmook Club Facebook group. You can find everything Shmook related at talkbomb.com/Shmook. SHMOOK. And so go check all our stuff out online. But more than anything, we just hope that he had a good time. So until next we meet, good talk, gang.
Meeting adjourned. Clink. Honk, honk.
Cool.
There we go.
Audio test.
Chick.
Looks like you're saying check.
I am.
No, I thought you were. When I said it the first time, I just heard cheer. And then I thought you were starting over. Some cool thing.
Cheer.
Cheer.
Oh, speaking of sound, I found out what's going on with Chad Johnson. What? He's going to be on a show called Famously Single on E for its second season. And I watched the trailer, and it's like him talking to he's the only person who I recognize. I don't know who these other famous single people are, if I remember correctly. I was like half looking at it. But he's talking to some, I almost said brown lady. I mean, with brown hair. Some like lady with brown hair. And he's like, we went from an attraction to saying, are we in love with each other? And I was like, oh, I want to see this.
Wow. Is it pathetic now?
Is it? Yeah.
Chat. It's like
that's a
famously single.
That's now. A big step down from The Bachelor to E's Famous in Love.
Shouldn't you just stop?
Or Famously Single or something?
Like, shouldn't he just give it a
No, but then you'd have to go back to his normal job. He's not going to do that. I wouldn't do that.
What's his normal job?
I think like real estate or something.
Oh,
I think.
I don't know.
It's probably not as fun as being drunk around Hollywood and taking really boring Snapchats of you smoking in elevators and stuff.
I guess, but isn't that fucking humiliating on some level? No?
Not for some people. I guess if you're having fun, you could be like, I don't care if it seems humiliating. Fuck everybody, I'm having a great time.
I would feel like
I don't really get the vibe of that much fun. I do think more of a desperation kind of thing.
I would just feel like absolute shit all the fucking time if I had to be like, and now I'm gonna do this ribbon cutting at an Arby's. Like that.
Or are you like, I'm gaming the system, baby?
Well, I know, and I understand that viewpoint where somebody would be like, yeah, I'm getting paid like a lot of money, and it's funny, like I get to ribbon cut this Arby's, but I would just be like, I fucking hate myself now. I was watching Impractical Jokers, and Joey Fatone opened his own hot dog place called Fat Ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Ew. I don't like thinking of my hot dog as a fat one.
You want a fat one?
No, that's gross.
I don't know. They plump when you cook them.
Ew, plump.
And they're everyone's making jokes and shit.
Yeah.
And then he runs out and he's like, "How you doing, folks? Are you enjoying yourselves?" It's like, even for that like 4 second span, I'd just be like, I hate myself. I just feel like I was in NSYNC and I was like dancing in Madison Square Garden, and now I'm like these. I've got my friends here to record a comedy show, and everyone I'd be like, "Is your hot dog okay?"
For you?
get chewed out by some fucking guy who says no. There's a chance that guy would say, no, Joey Fatone, my hot dog's not okay. And then I'd have to deal with it.
Get me another fat one.
Oh, just.
This fat one won't do.
I wouldn't be able to handle that.
Oh, God.
All right.
All right.
All right. Say something about Fruit Loops.
Oh, I like Fruit Loops. They're good.
All right.
Yeah. I had a donut with Fruit Loops on it in Portland. It was a pretty good donut.
Is it Voodoo Donuts? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty good. We got like a Fruit Loops donut, Oreos donut, maple bacon donut, overrated. I can't remember what else. The Fruit Loops donut was my favorite one.
Was it stale at all?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Fruit Loops, like cereals like that, aren't meant to be like out of the packaging. It's true. I'm not wrong.
And I guess like cooked? Probably not. I think
not cooked. I mean,
they probably put the frosting on and let it melt a little bit and then mush the Fruit Loops into the frosting and then let the frosting harden around them. Yeah, that's probably what happens.
That's got to be it.
That's probably what happens.
Hey everyone, thanks again for listening to the show. If you enjoyed this episode, you should consider going to our website, www.talkbomb.com, where we have archived every show we've ever done. You can also visit our bonus show store, where we sell exclusive episodes of our podcasts for 50 cents a piece, not to mention our merchandise. If you enjoy Talk Bomb, the best thing you can do is help us spread the word. Tweet, share, review. We would greatly appreciate anything you can do to spread the word. Please also consider following us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, where we're at TalkBomb. Following us online is the best way to keep up to date with our productions. More than anything, we just hope you enjoyed the show. So thanks again for listening, and we'll see you at TalkBomb.com.